Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass. Welcome to a McLaren 765 LT. I've been loaned this thing by McLaren for the next 36 hours because tomorrow, I'm not really sure I'm allowed to tell you what I'm doing tomorrow. I think I've signed various bits of legal paperwork which say if I do tell you, I'll get sued. But as I say, I'm filming that tomorrow, which means I've got all of today to do whatever I want with this car. And I've been trying to think, how do I maximize my time with a 765 LT, a car that I'm unlikely to get the chance to drive much more in the future, when I suddenly remembered that Alexander's Prestige mentioned the 360 Challenge Ferrari, which is on their Blyton Park track day, which I attended, was going to be in their workshop this week, kind of being checked over. So I thought, what a great excuse to do 500 miles in an LT and spend some time with one of my favourite cars ever. So yes, we're road tripping. Journey, and it's been pretty interesting so far. Of course, the LT's not really made for long-distance motorway cruises, but the car it's based on or has evolved from, the 720S, essentially the most versatile supercar out there. It can go from Bentley levels of comfort to ballistic missile speed at the flick of a switch, and whilst I'm learning that this car might be manically insane, you can still kind of dial it back if you activate the active panel and switch the handling and performance settings to their comfort modes. The ride does kind of smooth out, the throttle response is less dramatic. I've got this lovely Bowers & Wilkins sound system, and visibility is fantastic. Having said all that, you cannot escape the fact you're in an LT. The whole thing vibrates and buzzes and hums. It feels stripped out in here, and these center seats are essentially like sitting in a carbon bucket. They're comfier than you might think, but not comfortable on a long journey. And the whole car is so sort of precise and alert. It feels more like a motorbike. Wherever you look, the car goes. If I reach down here to adjust the volume, suddenly I'm kind of veering between lanes, which makes, cruising on the motorway not that relaxing. You have to really pay attention. But I'm not saying any of this negatively. These are all things I would want and expect from a track-focused, hardcore supercar, and they're things that make me super excited for when I turn off the motorway and I can start dialing the handling and performance back up. This car is so fast, I don't think I'm going to be able to talk and drive. I really am having to concentrate right now. Oh my god, this should not be possible. This car's either going to get me arrested or kill me. And kill me sadistically, I always say I like a car that feels like it's about to kill me, but this wouldn't just kill me, it would sort of chop me up into bits and then sacrifice me to some demonic god that I've never heard of. You shouldn't be able to do this. It's way too fast, this car. It's so unnecessary. When it launched, I was like, I don't really get the point in that car, because if there was ever a supercar that didn't need to be any faster, it was the 720S, which this is based on. But getting in here right now, I'm like, hells yeah! It needed to be faster. Who knew? To be honest though, it's not about top speed, it's not even about the 0 to 60 or 0 to 120, it's just how it goes about taking off down the road. Screw Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson going to space. Just jump in one of these things, find a slight incline, and you'll be off to the moon without a doubt. It's just, it's a rocket ship. It's an absolute rocket ship. A lot of that is achieved by shorter gear ratios than the 720S, making it feel, well, not just more urgent, but just animalistic. I mean, unnecessarily animalistic. It's a freak. It's like a car that you're like, oh my god. That kind of weird friend who says odd things in the pub and you're like, yeah, is that funny or is that really creepy? That's what this car is. You gotta know what you're doing or you're gonna end up in a hedge. And I've nearly ended up in a hedge a few times today. It's a car that really wants to be driven, needs to be driven, and is slightly terrifying to drive. And for all those reasons, I'm like, this is great. And look at these slower speeds now. We've got gargles and pops from the exhaust like the 675 LT had. It just feels inherently special. And I've said many times before, McLaren do have this tendency to sometimes be a bit dull. When you turn it all down, when you're just pottering around at 30 miles an hour, you're a bit like, yawn, snore. But this thing, no, because it's breaking your back, or it's shouting, or it's rattling, or it's being annoying, or it's being outrageously fast. I mean, bloody heck. And then when you see that long tail pop up in the rear view mirror, God, does it look cool. The speed. Yeah, I've got to stop. I've got to stop, because I'm going to get arrested, or Twiggy's going to be sick. I think Twiggy might be sick. Twiggy? Where's the chance, darling? Literally.
You won't leave that car on, will you?
It's all I want to see. You know, I came in the showroom, I was like, there's so many nice things here. I don't care. Where's the chance, darling? Come on, let's have a look.
Did you have a good trip up?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Well, I'm in this 765 LT, so I nearly died about 15 times, but in the grand scheme of things, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that's one of our customers. He's got loads of cars. He's had it for about 30 years, and we just maintain all his cars and what have you. And,
oh, that's nuts.
But it's in original condition.
Sure. Okay. You don't see many Diablos these days. I feel like Murcielagos are becoming more and more popular, event stores everywhere. You don't see many Diablos.
I tell you what, have a look, tell me what you think to the dash.
How huge is the instrument
I think
thing?
we've got it out of a
How do you see over that? I mean, honestly, look how massive that instrument dial housing is, and compared to where the dash is, that is mad. Have you ever driven one? Have you driven a Diablo?
No.
I wonder what it's like.
I don't know, I'm afraid. You know, I'm like the manuals.
Oh yeah, not a manual fan. Controversial on this channel, but
I think that is, what do we call it, patina? That's
yes, definitely patina.
patinaed.
You know, only the owner could love it, I think.
Absolutely.
Is what we'll say. Yeah.
Let's have a wander through. Have you been back here before?
Yeah, of course, because I remember my 360.
Oh, of course,
we had the inspection after the trip.
Of
course, yeah. I don't know why, I'm really coming round to DB11s again.
Yeah, I agree.
Super nice, though.
Don't some cars just get better after a few years?
There's something like that happens.
Yeah.
But I've just caught that front wheel of the Diablo again, and it is just nuts. Super cool. Okay. Yeah.
These are all our boys.
I'm going to stop you. The only thing that would stop me from running towards a Challenge Stradale. What is this? Is this a stock car?
It's a client's in for servicing.
Oh, yeah. Do you think you'd take a really low ball offer?
Is anything low
like
at the moment?
An aggressively low ball offer? Wow. Actually, to be honest, not my dream spec, but I don't really feel like I should say that, because it's just, I mean, unbelievable. I preferred the black one that you guys lent me at the beginning of the year. Yeah. A bit more up my street. But
that's quite subtle. It's
very subtle.
I think with those wheels, again, I think I would choose it with the different wheels, but
yeah, it's super nice. I mean, they're all super nice. Oh, I've seen it. I thought it was in the workshop. When you looking over it in the workshop, though?
Yeah, well, we know the owner quite well. We supplied him the car, so we just keep checking it out for him, because after Blighton, he just wanted us to check it was all okay still. So
sure,
yeah.
There's always a question mark over that.
Interesting, we've got another car from Blighton. Do you remember the CSL?
Yes.
So
oh wow, look at that. What? I've never been back here. This is huge. I had no idea all this was going on. I've only ever gone as far as the workshop. So wait, what's that over there?
That's our tyre bay, so that's just the tyres. We can do, not that anyone has them, we can do 24-inch, up to 24-inch laser guided missile tyre machine thingy.
Oh wow,
so
okay.
That's all that, and this is through the process of the cars. So when we buy a car, it starts in workshop, goes through body shop, tyres, and then goes through valeting and detailing. So we've got everything in-house. So.
But wait, before, as in, every single car you get in, that's a customer add-on, or that's a...
No. This is what happens to every single car before it goes on sale. So it doesn't. We might do a due in or something, but actually, every car will go through a full preparation. So it won't leave the workshop until it's mechanically sound.
Sure.
And then it won't leave this area. If it needs anything, it might need a wheel refurb or something. And that car's just it's had some chips to the front, so that's just getting a bit of extra work done to it. And then it moves to detailing. So
Mate, I genuinely had no idea this was all going on. Well, of course, in your showroom, everything looks immaculate, but I just thought that's because someone was always wiping the cars down.
it's the only way you can control the quality. It's impossible to. If we did this externally, there'd be no way we could control it. But these guys.
Wow, look, so yeah, these guys are working on a 992 in a Panamera, but check this out, CSL, which was at the Alexander's Prestige track day that I went to. Did he go out on track in it though?
Yeah.
He did go out, he did a few laps?
Because we've stored it for about 6-7 years for him since he bought it, so he'd only actually driven it twice. And so he said to us, so we put a new clutch in it, new tyres in it, but he wanted to do a few laps to see what it felt like. And now it's back, and we're just going to check it over for him and just
Super cool.
get everything sorted.
I have a bit of a checkered past with those cars on my channel, so I have to I have to tread carefully. But
is that in terms of opinion or in terms of something that happened?
Anyway, let's not talk about it. I don't want the negative comments to come back.
Well, I remember when I couldn't get rid of those because before I started this place, I worked at B&W. We could not sell those, and I remember when we started the business, we were selling those for like £20,000, low mileage cars.
It's huge back here. I have no idea this was all going on.
You know, I love overheads. It's one of my favourite things.
I was saying, you just love the stress of every month going, how am I going to pay for this all?
Yeah.
And you got a spray booth as well?
Yeah, absolutely everything in there. So that's why everything is controlled. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So
and here it is, the main shot. Okay, looking a lot better than it was at the end of the track day. I'll give you that.
Well, do you remember there was a little spin?
It was nothing little about that spin. It was a huge spin, and it came back with quite a black mark somewhere on the bumper. Well, I was trying to film it, being like, how am I going to avoid that black mark?
Well, that's what Mikey's looking at it for, because actually, I think he thought he might have damaged it, but it wasn't. It was just a glance, so Mikey's just polishing it off now. But I've actually not told you this. You're going to be surprised now. I've had a word with Michael, the owner, and he said if you want to while you're here today, if you want to take it down the road.
No.
He said you can if you want to.
No.
Yeah.
This is very quickly not becoming a video about a McLaren. I mean, I'll definitely take you up on that offer.
He said he's a great guy. Well, you met him, didn't you, briefly?
I did meet him briefly.
Yeah.
Oh, that is just unbelievable. I want to go and check out the showroom though, because I did see a few other bits knocking around. So maybe whilst that's being finished off. And the other thing which I was thinking is maybe we could bring the LT into the showroom, because I saw you've got two 720Ss.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be cool to partner next to them and do a bit of a comparison.
Nice comparison, yeah.
God, this is going to be like a 48-minute video. So before I bring the LT in to do a comparison with the 720S, I thought I'd quickly show you what else is in the showroom, because there's some amazing stuff here, including this Huracan Evo that was at that Brighton Park track day we keep talking about. And then these Vantages. Firstly, check out the Vantage Roadster, very nice in that red. Then look at the colour of this Vantage. I don't even know what it is. It's amazing. It's like pinky, bronzy. It's coming across very silver on camera. In real life, it's not. It's got a much more rose gold kind of hue to it. But then this yellow tang V12 Vantage. I'm obsessed with this thing. And weirdly, I actually spec'd a new Vantage in yellow tang at Aston Martin Bristol years ago when I was considering the new Vantage for Drive the World. Nice little RS5 back there, often overlooked and forgotten, that car. And then 3 RS6s, 1, 2, 3. Yep, very, very popular here at the showroom. Nice Bentley Continental, a lovely Taycan. This car I think has now come back. I have seen it before. 997 GT2, absolutely mad. Manual, rear-wheel drive, turbo engine. Super rare, not as rare as the RS, or maybe not sort of, you know, as sought after as the RS, but still very cool. A very nicely spec'd M4 black, but within the sort of crazier interior. And then check out this super rare, super limited M5. This is the 35 Jahre, the 35. I've forgotten my high school German. Anyway, yeah, it's the 35-year edition. I think only 350 of them being made. This is essentially brand new. It's got all the sort of wrappers on the. Let me see. Oh, it is open. on some of the seatbelts and things. Look how insane, look at this. It's untouched. You get all these kind of weird gold elements, and you've got a nice big badge there, edition 35 Yara M5, one of 350. Brand new, and sitting here in the showroom with the satin paint. Nuts. A big old AMG GT 4-door, don't see too many of them very often. And then out here, the madness continues. We've got a 991.2 GT3, a 991.1 GT3 RS, a Cullinan, a big old Cullinan, didn't know that was going to be here. CLA 45, quite like the way they look. Some more funky SUVs. So yeah, non-stop. But anyway, let's go get the LT, see how it compares with the 720S. Now I think this is super interesting because in my opinion, having these two cars next to each other, I actually think they don't look as different as I was expecting. The LT is wider, it's lower, it's lighter, it's more powerful, etc. But yeah, like this, I'm like, well, can you really spot that? Maybe as we make our way around the side and come to the long tail element of the LT, we'll start to notice a bit of a difference. But even then, it's not that dramatic, apart from, of course, the insane quad exhaust tailpipes. Also, forgive me because the LT is very dirty right now from the journey up here, and of course, as we were just learning, that car's been through its sort of pre-showroom preparation, so is spotless. But yeah, as I say, wider, lower, it's got a bit more rake to it as well, the LT, and then a ton more downforce. So I think the car is 80 kilos lighter in total than a standard 720S, and a lot of that is achieved by carbon fibre body parts. You get this new front bumper, which has obviously been reshaped with all these kind of little elements, carbon fibre elements down the front here. I think actually the entire sort of nose and front lip is pulled forward ever so slightly, so down and forward, so that is even extended. It's a long nose, not just a long tail, if that makes any sense. And then of course you've got all these kind of like active aero parts, or at least functional aero parts I should say, as you move along the car. Slightly wider side skirts, I don't know if you can see that. On the 720S they kind of tuck away before that rear wheel, whilst on the LT very much still sticking out and helping guide air around the car. And then of course the sort of active rear wing. And actually look, I've just noticed this, can you see there that it sort of tucks under the wing, the bodywork, whilst here it's kind of flat with the wing. That looks sort of more reminiscent to a P1 now, as I look at it, where this obviously slightly different. You've also got some more aero elements here. I think in total 25% more downforce. The insane quad exhaust tailpipes in comparison to the standard 2 on a 720S, a much more aggressive rear diffuser. Interior wise, this one's very highly spec'd with that roll cage element, which you don't get in a standard 720S. Lots of thinner glass. You can see here this all kind of moves and flexes. It's a subtle enhancement, one that you've got to kind of train your eyes to pick up and notice. And seeing them here, you're definitely not going to feel shortchanged, I don't think, if you're in that car there, especially because you're probably going to save 150 grand maybe? I don't know the full spec price of this car, but I would suggest it's well over 300 grand. 165, yeah, half price, but probably 80% of the car.
Oh, you've made my year.
This is so good.
Can I just take this back to London and leave the McLaren with you?
It's probably more comfortable than those seats, those centre seats.
I'll tell you that right now. Okay, so let's poodle out of here. Let's let everything warm up, I suppose. I know better than most that, you know, with 360s you've got to let everything warm up.
You do, you're the pro. You're the pro.
You know, I keep banging on about, oh, my Modena is so good right now, I don't feel like I need a challenge done anymore. And then I get near one or in one, I'm like, ah, it's the best thing ever.
Can you immediately feel the difference?
Yeah, definitely. 100% stiffer.
Yeah.
So I can immediately tell that. And it is lighter. My car's fairly light, but nowhere near as light as this.
Yeah.
The sound is similar, and hopefully once we've warmed up, we can show that off in the tunnel. But then the gearbox, obviously I'm with the manual,
yeah,
and we've got this F1 box, which you have to drive around. You have to kind of like live with it. But I do think it really suits the car. Like, I think it's part of the car's personality.
I agree.
It's not that bad. Look at us now. We're just kind of poodling along, having a nice time, and it's not, you know, not ruining anything. And we're in a red Ferrari with a challenge Stradale, Andrew. Come on. That's all you can need. And this one's got 68,000.
You would never know.
That must be kilometres though, isn't it?
Kilometres, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this car's better than cars that haven't been driven. It's like owning a boat, isn't it? If you use it all the time, it doesn't deteriorate. And because this car through its life, I know the previous owners of it, and they've just spent money, so probably half of it's new anyway. And I know the current owner spent a fortune on it as well. So
I wish I knew what it was like to own a boat.
Well, I'm not talking from experience.
That reference, I was like, sure.
You know what it's like.
I guess, yeah, you know. We have got a bit of temperature, so. Come on!
Oh, it's a natural noise, isn't it?
It's such
not
a good
forced.
raw noise. Like, that's how a V8 should sound. That's how a Ferrari should sound.
Definitely.
And again, the F1 changes, they really suit it. Like, my manual is like a bit of a weight between, you know, I'm like figuring out where the gear goes, but this, like...
And that's a quick gear change for a car of this age,
It's
isn't
a
it?
decent gear change. You know, I'm being very careful here, but like, if you really take it up to the red line and really bash the gears, it's amazing. I mean, that's a joke. That's a joke. Oh, never good.
Thank you to the owner, because the last time I drove one of these was about 7 years ago, and I remember it vividly, not just because of the car, it's because I had my bank manager with me at the time, and we were just discussing the new overdraft. Certainly in the early years of the company, and he was just mind blown by the car. And
He was like, I'll give you it all, whatever you need.
If he's watching, he might remember that.
That's unbelievable. Oh, so good, so good. Right, I better call Magnitude Finance, I think. Dude, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for the CS drive. I appreciate it for sure. See you soon. Thank you. Bye. In London now, and the onboard computer is saying I've done 485 miles and spent 8 hours and 44 minutes in this car, averaging 24.2 mpg, although I don't think it's felt that good. I've stopped for fuel 3 times. To be fair, I started my journey, not a lot of fuel in the tank, and then I filled up high. Anyway, 24.2 sounds better than what it's felt like. But yeah, I mean, basically 9 hours in this car, which, you know, might sound intense, and it has been intense. I really can't feel my lower back anymore, but so worth it. I mean, firstly, I got to drive a challenge to Dali and just catch up with Andrew and the whole Alexander's Prestige team, but also really experience this car. And I think if I just stayed locally and spent all day or spent 9 hours on back roads or small country lanes, I'd be upside down in a ditch by now, as I found out. So it was just intriguing to see what it would be like to maybe live with this car or use it more regularly. And well, you'd have to be kind of mad to do it, but I like madness, as I've kept saying. So yes, if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and stay subscribed, because there is another LT video coming in a couple of days. I think that's all I'm allowed to say, I think.